A new semester means new beginnings, but it also brings Usagi unease as she can't shake off these weird dreams about destruction, dreams that feel so real they leave her body aching. And while trying to focus on school, Usagi nearly runs into trouble. But before she knows it, she's face to face with a new monster, one that seems to freeze everyone in its path. But just as it's about to attack, two elegant strangers suddenly arrive to save the day. Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune, the long-awaited reinforcements are finally here. Only they're even more powerful than the Guardians could have imagined. After easily defeating the monster, Uranus and Neptune turn their attention towards the Sailor Scouts. But what do they want? Why did they come to this time? And how does Chibiusa fit into all of this? Because as Amy soon as realized something very important, the two new girls aren't the only ones who came through the time warp. As Amy and Ray look out over the city, they spot a small figure running away from a shadowy monster. It's Chibiusa, but she's not alone. Following after her is a tiny creature made of pure darkness. And although it looks weak, it moves with unnatural speed, keeping up with Chibiusa without breaking a sweat. And once inside the house, Chibiusa takes on a whole new appearance. She's somehow grown several years older, and when Ami and Ray ask her what happened, Chibiusa responds by introducing them to a new friend. A frail-looking girl named Hataru, who despite her condition, sports a gentle smile. But Ami isn't fooled by the facade. She can sense that Hataru has a strong aura, one that seems to amplify Chibiusa's own power. And although she's happy to have another ally, Ray can't help but wonder why they've come to this time and why now. Just then, Usagi enters the room with some cake and instantly gets scolded by Ray for bringing junk food. But before things get too heated, Haruka and Michiru enter the room together and announce that they're officially joining the Sailor Scout team. And although Emi and Ray are skeptical, Usagi is thrilled to have more friends. But Ray notices that Michiru seems to know quite a bit about the Scouts, which doesn't sit well with her. And later that night, the Guardians are shocked when an unknown assailant destroys one of the computers at the library. Could it be the work of the Shadow Beast? Maybe, but when the Sailor Scouts arrive at the scene, they find no trace of the monster or any other clues. Ray is furious and demands they find out who is responsible, but Ami is afraid there might not be any leads. That is until Chibiusa pipes up and tells her friends that she saw Hataru taking data from the computer. But before anyone can question her further, Chibiusa faints and reverts back to her baby form. Hataru is saddened by this, but reassures Chibiusa that she'll be all right, and then she leaves the room to talk with the Sailor Scouts. Although she apologizes for Chibiusa's behavior, she doesn't seem to remember anything about the attack and claims that she has never met Chibiusa before. Haruka and Michiru are shocked to hear this, but Ray isn't buying it. She believes that Hataru must have attacked the computer and wants her to confess. But just as Ray is about to grab her, Haruka stops her. She thinks it's wrong to accuse someone without evidence. So instead, she invites Hataru to tea, hoping to get to the bottom of this. But much to Haruka's surprise, Hataru continues to deny everything, saying that she has no idea how Chibiusa became friends with her. Meanwhile, the true mastermind behind the attack watches the Sailor Scouts from afar and reveals her identity. It's Queen Natalia, and she's infuriated that the Sailor Scouts haven't given up yet. But Gyron assures her that everything will go according to plan because they're replanning to make the Scouts pay dearly for what they did to her sister. The next day, Usagi is still worried about Chibiusa and wonders if there's anything she could do to help. But Amy reminds her that they need to gather information first, so the two of them decide to follow Hataru. They watch her walk towards a large building and then sneak inside to spy on her. They soon discover that Hataru visits the school nurse, who happens to be an old woman that the Sailor Scouts have helped in the past. And when she learns that Hataru is sick, she immediately asks her to stay with her until she's better. Meanwhile, Queen Natalia is using her magic mirror to spy on the scouts and becomes infuriated when she sees them bicker amongst each other. But Joran tells her that everything is going perfectly according to plan. Usagi and Ami return home empty-handed, having found nothing on Haru. But they don't realize that they were being watched the entire time. Back at the school nurse's house, Haru is feeling much better thanks to the care she's received. And although she doesn't remember much about her life, she does remember her mother, who worked at the nursing school. Usagi and the others decide to visit the nursing school to see if anyone remembers Haru, but they come up empty-handed. And as they're leaving, they run into sailors Pluto and Saturn. The two sisters are surprised to see the inner guardians and ask what brings them to this place. And although the inner guardians try to keep things hidden, Pluto recognizes Haru and realizes that she's connected to the starlights. Usagi is shocked that Pluto knew starlights, but Pluto quickly changes the subject and warns the scouts that they should stay away from Haru. Then she leaves without giving any more answers. This only makes the scouts more suspicious, but they don't know it. But they're being spied on by Queen Natalia, who becomes overjoyed when she learns that Haru is safe. That night, the Guardians reconvene and worry over the fact that their investigation has led nowhere. Ray insists that they continue searching, but Ami fears that it's becoming more dangerous and that they're putting innocent people at risk. Suddenly, Sailor Pluto reappears and reveals that she was wrong before. Haru is actually a good person and a valuable ally. She explains that she was reincarnated after dying 200 years ago, and she's been trapped in a deep sleep ever since. But the sailors needed her to wake up and join them because she is the key to defeating Queen Natalia. Pluto explains that she's the one who sent the starlights to this time, and it was her idea to bring Haru along. But she never expected the scouts to accept Haru so quickly, and she worries that it might be too much for her to handle. Pluto admits that she was harsh before, but she didn't want the scouts to get hurt. And she's relieved when Ami understands her point of view. And after they're done talking, Pluto returns to her own time. The next morning, the scouts are shocked when they learn that Haru is missing. And although they don't know where she went, Ray vows to find her. And this time, she's not going to let her get away. But just as Ray is about to leave, Haru suddenly appears. And although she looks weaker than before, she now wears a sailor suit similar to Sailor Moon's. Haru introduces herself as Sailor Saturn and explains that she had to seal away the evil that was growing inside of her. This is why she pretended to be ignorant before. She didn't want her new friends to know the truth. But now that they know, she hopes that they can still trust her. And the episode ends with Usagi comforting a weak Haru and promising that they'll defeat Queen Natalia together. Now, what did you guys think? What a crazy episode. We finally got to see Haru's backstory and learn that she's actually a reincarnated sailor guardian. But we still don't know much about her past life. Who was she? How did she die? And why did Pluto send her to this time? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I also thought it was interesting that Queen Natalia is spying on the scouts through the mirror and that Joran is helping her carry out her plans. I wonder how these two sisters work together and what their ultimate goal is. I think they might be more powerful than the scouts, which means they'll have to use all their strength to win. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to tune in next time when we get closer to finding out the truth behind Shibuya's disappearance. Until then, stay safe, stay magical. Bye.